Yes, good morning, students. Today we are going to start with chapter 7 from your book Vistas, Evans, Tries, and O level. This chapter describes a criminal named Evans who is a hard nut to crack. He dodges the police easily in the battle of wits between him and the establishment. He proves to be superior with his last master stroke of ingenuity. What we are shown in this chapter is about the Department of Police, how they work, and what are the weak points in the police department that they are not able to catch the criminals. And again they have to deal with the same person. He escaped from the prison, again he's caught, again he escaped. So in this way it tells us about the weak points and the problems which can create problem for the others also, for the criminals also. How they escape and what type of planning they have. So, in this chapter, the character Evans is given to us, who is shown as a very smart guy, and he overpowers all the planning and the policies of the prison officers. So, if we go for the introduction, in this chapter, Colin Dexter, the writer, describes a criminal named Evans who cheats the police so often and so easily that we begin to secretly admire him for his ingenuity. He has already escaped from the prison 3 times. He is now put under the strictest watch. He has earned the title of Evans the Break. All the police officers called him by the name Evans the Break. The way he plans his escape with the help of his clever friends shocks even the most tough and alert prison governor. In the battle of wits between him and the establishment, he proves to be superior with his last master, that is the governor of the prison. So, if we go for the question that is given to you in the very beginning, that should criminals in prison be given the opportunity of learning and education? Yes, of course, we have the freedom of education, right to free education. So anyone who wants to improve his academic qualification should be allowed, should be given the opportunity of learning and education. And for this only, the governor of the prison was in the favor that Evans should be allowed to appear for his O level German test, and he took permission from the secretary of the examination board so that he could continue with his learning and education. The characters in the story that we have: the secretary of the examination board, the governor of HM prison Oxford, James Evans, a prisoner, Mr. Jackson, a prison officer, Mr. Stephens, prison officer, the Reverend S. McElroy, an invigilator, who was a priest in the church and acted as an invigilator, Mr. Carter, detective superintendent, Mr. Bell, detective chief inspector. So the story begins with the idea that all precautions have been taken to see to it that the O level German examination arranged in the prison for Evans does not provide him with any means of escape. Means the governor of the prison was very much cautious this time so that Evans could not escape and who he could not be provided with any opportunity to escape from the prison when the arrangement for O level German examinations were done. What introduction we get about this character from the story: that Evans was a kleptomaniac type of character in Oxford prison. A congenital kleptomaniac means that he was by birth having the habit of stealing the things. So, a hardened criminal, Evans had dodged the police often and had already escaped from the prison 3 times. He was then put in any Oxford prison and was under strict surveillance. The prison governor was very cautious this time. When we come to know about his character or his behavior, when the secretary of the examination board and the governor had a talk to get the permission for this test, they had a discussion on the telephone, and through that we come to know about the personality and the character of this great person, criminal Evans. He's shown as a very pleasant and peaceful person. Evans had an amiable, peaceful nature. He wanted to sit for O level German examination. He was allowed to do so, and the night coaching classes were arranged for him. A German teacher visited regularly to teach him. The secretary of the examination board agreed to hold the examination in the prison cell. And the governor was very much assured this time that no problem would be there. This time they would not do any mistake, and Evans would not disgrace them this time, because every time when he escaped, it was just a feeling of shamefulness and insult for them. So this time he was taking care of all the precautions, all the measures, whatever arrangements were done, he was looking after personally. So precautionary steps were taken to prevent Evans from escaping the prison once again. Evans' teacher bade him goodbye. The teacher asserted that Evans would not pass. Two prison officials, Jackson and Stephen, checked Evans' cell. Evans' razor was taken away, but a harmless hat was allowed to be retained. And it was in the month of June when the exam was held. At 8:45, a person named McElroy entered the prison cell as invigilator. He carried a small brown suitcase with a sealed question paper and other things to use. Jackson checked McElroy's clothes. McElroy was allowed to keep his reading glasses and a small inflated rubber ring. The prison governor switched on the receiver to listen to each and every sound in Evan's cell. Jackson and Stephens kept strict vigilance from outside. So, in this way, they all were very much clear about this thing. So, in this discussion, when we see when the governor and the secretary was having their discussion and he was getting permission for the test, we are told about this boy that he was a very pleasant type of boy, a little bit odd and eccentric, and he was considered as one of the stars at the Christmas concert. And he was imitating just like the Mike Yarwood stuff, another great singer, but he had a bad habit of congenital kleptomania. So the governor was ready for this, that he should be allowed to appear for this test. Then he was suggested by the secretary of the examination board that one of the priests from the St. Mary's Mag's church could be taken as invigilator. So, in this way, they both ended their talking on the phone, and the governor was just thinking about the smartness of this boy and thinking that he had already escaped thrice from the prison, and this time they would make all the good arrangements, all precautions would be taken. And it was told that his coaching started in the month of September. In the March, he took permission for the conduction of this exam. And at 8:30 p.m. on Monday, 7th June, Ivan's German teacher was wishing him good luck. On 8th of June, the exam was to be conducted, and we are told that Jackson, who was a senior prison officer on D Wing, and Mr. Stephen, who was the fresh recruitment in the police. They both were on duty, and they were very friendly to this person, Evans. And when they entered, they just asked him uh, about him and called him as an Einstein, made fun of him by calling him as a mathematician. And Evans, who had not shaved, he just took permission from the police officers for that and told them that he should be allowed to wear this red and white woolen hat and wanted to get a uh, time for the shaving, etc. Then Mr. Jackson, who was a senior officer, he just warned Stephen that he should be sure about that from his cell, from his room, all type of sharp things, just like the razor, etc., should be taken. And one of these days, he will do us all a favor. What he would do, that he could do anything wrong with that razor or any sharp thing, whatever he had. He even could cut his bloody throat also. That means they were very much careful about all these things, that he could not do anything wrong with the person who would be present there for the test or to himself. So in this way they were taking all type of precautions that could be taken just to avoid his escape, because they had seen that he was a very smart boy and had already escaped from the prison thrice. Okay, students, the rest of the part will cover tomorrow. Please come with the reading that we have finished.